So,
This is for the creative.
Creative
Culture.
It's creativity X culture.
That's it. Yeah. So let's start again.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Creativity X Culture. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Sorry, guys. It's been a funny couple of months. And we've, tried our best to publish episodes. But we've got a bit of an update for you. Veneer, I suppose you should.
So, the thing about life and its twists and turns is that sometimes you end up having to make decisions that are going to be good for you as an individual. And that's essentially the decision that I've made. I've decided to no longer live in the UK, which is going to make things a little bit difficult for us to record. If you want to know where I am, I'm on the beautiful island of Montserrat, living here now as my base. Probably won't stay here permanently all year round, but I'm definitely going to be here and work here, which means that, unfortunately, this is going to be my last episode of Creative X Culture and for the creators, but I am still going to be there listening in and supporting Ryan all the way. This is our baby that we started, and life just kind of got in the way. But I'm happy where I am. I feel like I've made the right decision at this point in time in my life. I'm extremely happy. It's nice to wake up to sunshine all year round. You know what that feels like? Like, I don't even know who I am anymore. Like, my colour has completely changed. Like, I thought I was light skinned. I'm starting to think that maybe that was light skinned by virtue of being in the UK.
Probably
right now I'm getting pretty dark.
That's it, man. Oh, they're so brilliant, and obviously, life does change, and I'm very, very happy for you. I'm very happy for where you are.
Thanks,
and
man.
I'm happy for the experiences that we've had over the past year and a bit, all the conversations that we've had with people, and the vibes that we've created, and the support that we've garnered over the last 18 months has been incredible. And at the start of it, we were strangers and now we're friends. So it's amazing.
Think those conversations as well really contributed to the decision that I made eventually to stay on here, because I feel like after meeting with so many different people over the course of a year, like we did more interviews than we actually published.
That's right.
And the thing that came out of it was like, you just have to follow these omens in life, man. Like, you don't know what your personal legend's going to be sometimes, but if you haven't read the book, you need to check it out.
The Alchemist.
The Alchemist.
The Omens.
The Alchemist. But I was literally thinking about that the other day. Like, sometimes you get these little omens and you have to take them.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm literally living that right now, and I'm just so free and open to whatever life throws at me. Like, I'm trying not to be like overthinking things, which is the space that I was in the UK. I was just constantly overthinking. And just by simply crossing the water, I feel like I've been set free.
Yeah, man. And like I said, you deserve it. It's amazing, the steps that you've taken. And I mean, for anyone listening to this as well, take a leaf out of Veneer's book, in that sometimes when you really feel it and when you really see those omens or feel them, you have to take those steps for yourself, regardless of what adjustments needs to be made from other people. Do you know what I mean? Because ultimately, it's you who feels the ups and downs in life, and that's what you've got to you've got to ensure your happiness first and foremost.
Yeah. For sure.
I think.
And also, it's the book that you recommended as well, Conversations with God, which is a really powerful book. And when I read that,
I recommended
I've
that
been reading it literally from the point of leaving England and coming down here. And then it just really made me think, like, one of the things it really reinforces in that book is the importance of knowing that this is your life. Going back to what you said about, the impact it may have on other people and things like that. But this is your life. This is the only life that you get. This is the only shot.
Yeah.
And it's not about making, and as selfish as it sounds, it's not about making anyone else happy. It's about making sure that when you've come to the end of this life, you can look on it and say, you've made the right decisions for you.
Yeah.
And you've done the right things for you. And there's so many different layers to that book. Like,
it's crazy.
Amazing.
If anyone hasn't heard it, it's Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. And even if you're like religious, non-religious, whatever, it's just got great messages in that book, for sure, about life.
The biggest thing that the book taught me is the importance of choice. And the other key thing that it says as well is that the universe only ever answers yes.
Yeah, exactly. So
right now,
thoughts.
everything that I do, I'm like, hold on, the universe say yes to that? Because if the universe says yes to that, I don't want that. So change it. I'm literally like, how many times do I need to say something to erase that last negative thought?
Right, exactly. Press undo.
Yeah, undo.
Control Z.
Yeah, but just be conscious of like the things that you want, right? Because even in terms of like abundance and things like that, there was one passage in the book and it was talking about, so kind of going off on a tangent here, but
it's all right.
There's one passage in the book when it was talking about like, say you get up in the morning and you're walking down the road and you see a beggar and your first impulse is to give that beggar something, but then your mind jumps in and will be like, oh, but if you give him that last £5 that you got, how are you going to eat tomorrow? And things like that. And that's living in a place of lack.
Yes.
So what I've tried to do, and I've done that in so many ways since I've been here. Like if I feel like genuinely doing something nice for someone, like it could just be as small as just saying, you look beautiful today, or just something small. Sometimes you just have to do things without overthinking it, because when you overthink it, you change that positive thought into a negative one. And just in terms of abundance, when I was in the UK, I was just constantly living in the state like I've got no money, right? And since I've come here, I actually feel like I'm rolling it. I don't understand it.
Good.
But I literally don't feel like how I did in the UK. And it's not necessarily because my circumstances have changed that much. I actually think it's because my mindset has.
Amazing. What a message.
That's the end of my spiel.
Yeah, I mean...
whatever you do...
yeah, it's like, don't get in your own way, right?
Yeah.
Don't get in your own way. And, I mean, going back through a lot of our episodes, well, all of them, that's a strong message in it. Don't get out of your own way. Believe in yourself. Do the work.
Yeah, and you did it as well, like your trip to LA.
Yeah.
Creativity X Culture. It's like you said that you were going to do it, and you just did it.
Yeah, and man, and that's opened up.
Are opening up.
Mad.
So you just have to do whatever you think is right for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes as well, like we get this urge to seek validation or even advice from people, and sometimes I don't even think that is good for you. Like when I made the decision, I just decided like I'm not even gonna like get other people's opinion or whatever, because soon they tarnish it, and then you start not believing in yourself and
second guessing
what you feel is right for you. So sometimes not all advice is good advice. Just saying, like sometimes you just have to listen to yourself.
Mm-hmm. I think we had this conversation before about advice, and you know, some people come to you for advice, right? And you would give them advice, and they would trust your advice, yeah, and they would make a decision off of the advice you gave. Now, that advice is coming from you, so when you're in a situation where advice could be offered, you know, you can trust your own advice. Do you know what I mean? We don't always have to get it from someone else. And that's what you were just saying about, you know, seeking validation. Like we've got some of that stuff internally. So you just have to trust yourself sometimes.
And most of the time when you go to people for advice, you don't really actually want advice. You just want confirmation. Which means that most of the things that you do, you really know what you need to do. So even the little advice I gave you just now, you know what you needed to do.
Yeah, I just needed to not sound I was crazy.
That extra validation that, you know, what I'm thinking is correct. So you just have to just trust your gut instinct, you know.
Very true.
And the thing is, and sometimes, like the advice that you just asked me about, it's because you're moving to the next level and understanding your worth. and
Mm.
understanding how valuable your time is. Time is
Yeah.
money.
Time is money, man.
So unless you're willing to stand up to people and tell people no, it's not always a bad thing, you know. Like saying no to people means that you're saying yes to yourself. So,
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
so yeah.
On
But
that
anyway,
topic, on that note about, you know, trusting yourself and not seeking validation from others and putting yourself first in that sense. And I suppose like believing in your source. Stormzy at Glastonbury this week. It was just the most amazing performance, and a real testament to his self-belief, you know, because 4 or 5 years ago, Stormzy wasn't really on the map on a London scale, on a UK scale, let alone what he's just done. Headlining Glastonbury. For those that don't know, Glastonbury is the biggest festival, music festival in the UK, and previous Pyramid stage headlining acts have been, you know, all of the biggest
Beyonce,
rock pop
Jay-Z.
stars. Yeah, Beyonce, Jay-Z recently, Stevie Wonder, Coldplay, tons and like all the biggest acts in the world. So when Stormzy was announced, and I think we discussed it on one of our creativity culture episodes, when it was discussed or when it was announced that Stormzy was headlining, I think everyone was a bit like, huh? He's only had one album. Like to headline Glastonbury, usually you're like 5, 7, 10 albums deep, 20 years into your career kind of thing, you know?
It's true, actually.
Yeah. And, you know, I think a lot of people, myself included, were a bit like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen here. Because it's a long set as well, hour and a half. I'm thinking, oh, how are you going to do that with one album?
You got hour and a half song worth of songs.
Yeah. Well, he just showed it, man. He smashed it. So he opened the performance with a video of him talking to Jay-Z. And Jay-Z was giving him advice on, you know, when you go out there, just know that you're there for a reason, and you know that you're there because the culture is ready for it, you know. And the whole production of the performance was just so energetic and beautiful. He had a choir, he had black ballet dancers, because the whole theme of his performance was, yes, this is Stormzy, but he stands for something. So
like he stands on the shoulders of
he stands on the shoulders of giants from before. That's opened the doors for him to be here. But also he spent a couple minutes shouting out the rest of some of the like leaders in UK hip hop and artists and things like that. Like, it's amazing for millions of people potentially to, you know, hear those names. It was just incredible. I mean, he came out because it was quite politically themed as well. He came out in a stab-proof vest, because obviously there's a lot of stabbings in London, and it had a Union Jack on it in black and white. And it turns out it was created by Banksy. So it was like, whoa, you know, because Banksy art pieces are the most coveted in the world. And he's given this to Stormzy, you know. It's just so iconic and historic on so many levels. It was just, I don't know, it's literally like watching history happen. It was just so good, and the performance was amazing. He sang my favourite song from the album, Blinded by Your Grace. I think that's what it's called. Part 1, which is just him singing against on top of a keyboard. And it's just beautiful. And he sang that with Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was so good. And he brought out Dave and Fredo to do their single. So a part of his set, he just let them do their song. And then he said, look, the reason I've done that is that's the first, or one of the first UK hip rap songs to go to #1. You know, and
I love
To
that
give him
song.
that platform was incredible. It's not factually correct that because you got like Tiny Temper Pass Out and
Mm-hmm.
21 Seconds by So Solid and stuff, but I suppose in this new era of rap, it is kind of true.
But then
Yeah.
those tracks that you mentioned, were they really rap?
No, so that's what he's saying in this, like, in this era now, where this is, we're not, this isn't pop and a bit of rap, or this isn't garage or grime or anything. This is our hip hop. And in this era of our hip hop, this is the first song that's gone to number one. So in that sense, he's correct. But he smashed it though. Goes, that was number one. That was the first one, and this is the second one. And then he dropped Vossi Bop, which also went to number one.
That's really good because I like his new single as well, where he's talking
Crown.
about which is just quite similar to the one that you liked as well, which has that sort of singy vibe.
Yeah.
But the lyrics in that are really powerful as well.
Yeah, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yeah, because when he was talking about, like he created that scholarship, meaning he's pro-black. And people say that he's racist. Yeah. And there's so many things that like people choose to focus on when there's so many other things that's going on that someone's doing positive, and you choose to focus on that. And it's really funny because one of the observations that I've made since I've been here is I feel like the whole social media lifestyle and things like that is very much in, like, I guess the first world countries. Like, here, people don't really give a shit about all of that celebrity gossip and things like that. So it's been really different because most of the time when I'm here, like, everyone kind of just focuses on what they've got going on locally. So like, they're aware of things that's happening out there, but you'd never really go out and hear anyone talking about, like, Kim Kardashian or anything like that, to be honest. Like, no one talks about it. And even, like, one of the things that my brother said to me as well is, like, which really jumped out to me, is, like, the value that we place on things is so much different based on where you are. Like, when my brother comes here, he comes in all these Balenciagas and his this and his that. Like, here, it's just a trainers.
That's amazing.
Yeah, literally.
It's so true,
like,
yeah.
Like, you can come here, you can have, like, a flashy car, for example, but the average person will have, like, 2 or 3 cars in their yard. It's just literally A to B. Like, no one cares. Like, no one cares, like, if it's, like, the flashiest car. There's some people who care, or even, like, you might use it and you might view it in terms of social status, that that person drives a particular car.
Yeah.
But the infatuation with material things is just not the same here.
Wow.
And the infatuation with, like, celebrity culture and things like that is just not the same here, which is why I've not even really been on, like, Instagram and things like that as much as I would have been before, because I'm less consumed by it, which I guess kind of takes us nicely into the next topic about Kim Kardashian and her cultural appropriation and this new line that she's dropped, which I just think they're just playing people now, because how could you call your brand kimono? Like, it's so unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary. So Kim's dropped this new, what do you call them? What are they actually? Like, they're like figure hugging.
It's like body, like one of the terms which I saw to describe it as body correction
really?
wear or something like that, because so there are bits in there to pump up your bum and things like that. So I guess it's giving women, like, a more shapely figure. But who defines
what that shapely figure is? Yeah, exactly.
What isn't? So I'm thinking, just in that itself, that's just promoting the wrong message. Because we will know that they're all surgically enhanced anyway. But just the fact, I feel like the direction that family is going is like, we know that this is going to be controversial, but that's our marketing strategy.
A bit, yeah, because
she's saying that she called it a kimono because of, the level of detail and all of this that goes into creating something like that. So the cultural significance of the garment. You've gone that far to research it. So why do you now want to trademark the name kimono for your business. And
Mm.
this is something that's been around for thousands
Centuries.
of years. You're telling me that there's nothing else that you could have found, and you're adamant that you're not changing the name. You're just being disrespectful. There's so many other names
exactly
that you could have selected.
And it was,
and it's for clothing as well.
It's for clothing as well. And it was just as simple as, my name's Kim, and a clothing with the word Kim in it is a kimono. Mm-hmm. That sounds cool. Let's go with that, with complete disregard. It means, like, that style of dress means a lot to a lot of people, So people call Kim and Kanye, Kimye. So why not call? They could have even called it that, Kimye or Kim Wei or something like that. I don't know.
Find another goddamn name.
yeah.
Body shapers.
Yeah. Body shapers. Yeah. Kim Kardashian body shapers. Yeah.
Kim shapers.
Yeah,
if you could be like that, Kim shape.
Exactly.
Like in shape. Kim shape. Like, there's so many other things that you could have done. Like, I just feel like their whole brand now is just against almost creating, like, they want to break the internet. So the sad thing about all of this is, like, okay, because they've worked out the fact that any publicity is good publicity. That is how they work. So whether people like it or not, you're now talking about it, which means that you're going to go visit the website, which means that you're going to be Googling Kim, which means that you're probably going to go and buy it. And the controversy will spin and spin and spin. But then what that means is they'll be trending. Once you're trending, you have a captive audience. So you can sell anything to a captive audience. They don't care. Like, the generation that we live in now, we just don't have respect for culture. We don't have respect for, again, like we were saying about Stormzy, like all the people who came before you. Like, that is a cultural thing, man. You don't go messing with that. Like,
no, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's all we got to say about that.
Yeah. Let's not even give them any more attention.
No, they need to fix up.
They're just fame hungry.
They need to fix up.
But
on
it does lead good
a brighter note,
topic.
On a brighter note about doing the right thing. So, it was the BET Awards recently, and amongst many things, including Nipsey Hussle tribute, rest in peace. Tyler Perry won the Ultimate Icon Award, and he gave an amazing speech to everyone in the audience and everyone watching about, where he's come from, the struggle that he's had. While writing his plays, he was sleeping in the back of his car, and now he owns one of the largest studios in Atlanta, and he's partnered with BET on a streaming service. He's got his shows on Oprah's network. He's got all these movies out and stuff. And it's just the most brilliant rags to riches story. And it's not about material things, but in terms of success, he's got to that place. But his main point in that rags to riches story was about ownership, and not to be bamboozled by the numbers. Make sure you own your stuff. Like, he owns that massive studio in Atlanta, which was, I think, previously owned by like part of the slave trade. Yeah. So he's changed that up, and he's changed the meaning of it, and he's paid it forward in so many ways, including Black Panther, because they used his studios to record Black Panther, didn't they?
Oh, I didn't know that, actually.
I think you told me that.
I'm sorry.
You say you forgot that. Yeah, I think you told me that a while ago. So many people pitched in, for that big cultural phenomenon, which is why I think it was a cultural phenomenon, because it meant so much to so many people. But yeah, Tyler Perry's speech, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to post it up on the Instagram. I'll put it up in the stories, but I think I'll repost it on the actual page.
Yeah, I think from the speech, what I took from it as well was this whole thing about helping others to cross the road. Because I'd heard him talk about the story with the blind man before, that he used to help cross the road every day. And when you think about actors who are really big right now, like, Idris,
yep,
and people like that, he was the one that really helped them to break Hollywood. And he's continued to help people cross the road, because even like when Oprah started her network, I know that he was fundamental in actually helping Oprah. And then you think, Oprah, like, wow, like Oprah is a big name as it is, but
Yeah.
you know, in the society that we live in, when people are trying to start something new, the first thing that we often try to do is to knock them down. And even within like black culture. So when Oprah started her own network, everyone was waiting for Oprah to fail. And what Tyler did was he went and he wrote scripts, things like the have and the have nots and all of this, to help her, so that she had a show, that she had shows on her network.
Right.
And these are the sort of things that people don't appreciate. Like when he had so much like drama within the black community for creating things like Medea and a lot of the things that he's done, like we don't sometimes support our own. And the good thing about what he said as well is like, forget the Oscars. When people are out here focusing on why is the Oscars so what, I'm over here building my own table. Sometimes it's not always about getting a seat at their table. Sometimes we have to create a table for ourselves. So that's what I took from the speech. I think Tyler's amazing. I've listened to so many motivational like videos from him. And the thing I like about him as well, he also seems like he's very down to earth. You still get that sense that you can go up and still have a real raw conversation with him. Like he's not too bougie. That's the sense that I get from him. So I'm just happy to see that people are thriving and there's positive things still happening in the world, and that we can all move forward like with conviction and believing ourselves. And even when things appear to be crumbling, like my favorite quote is, "You can never connect the dots looking forward. You're only going to connect them looking backward." And I was having that same conversation with my friend the other day. Sometimes how we have things mapped out in our minds isn't necessarily how things are going to play out. And we can even see this with the podcast. Like initially, the goal was for me to come on board and to help you to start this. Eventually, we became co-hosts, but ultimately, it's probably getting back to the point in why you started it in the first place, and opportunities that are now coming your way that we couldn't have envisioned it at the start.
No, exactly.
So now it's like, it's really about you taking this thing that we've started together and taking it forward. I wish you the best of luck with every single thing that you decide to do. I feel like the podcast for me was more than just a podcast. I feel like it was something, and I needed you in my life at that point as well.
Vice versa,
I genuinely
same.
feel like literally the conversations that we had in that period in my life was just a really strange one, and I needed to have that brother there that I can talk to about absolutely anything. And I feel like
I appreciate that.
That's the value that I found in you. It's having someone who, one thing I respect about Ryan, guys, is Ryan is almost like, Ryan lacks an ego. I've never met someone like Ryan, in the sense where you can literally talk to Ryan about anything and feel like you're going to get a genuine response, where there's no ulterior motive or that they're sitting there judging you, which is what a lot of people do. So I value that.
Gave me goosebumps.
In our friendship. No, it's true. It's really true. And I feel like at that point in time, you were the person that I needed in my life to empower me to even be sitting here in the Caribbean where I am.
Wow,
right
that's
now.
Amazing.
So,
and
grateful.
I mean, I'm so grateful as well. You know, in order to start this, you know, so many of your skills really got this going, because I'm a creative, so I have a tendency of starting things and my creative mind moves on to something else. So, you know, things aren't going to be, or wouldn't have been as consistent, you know, but you really brought, amongst other things, but I'm just talking about some of your skills here, that real, okay, how do we make this real? How do we do this properly? And we've really, like you said, created this baby, which has now grown up into, I suppose in cat years, it's a teenager. So it's just amazing. But I mean, outside of that, all the conversations that we've had together and all the people that we've connected with and reached out to and stuff, we've created an audience of over 12,000 people. actual people that listen to this podcast. It's just so grateful for what we've done, and I'm really touched by what you just said. So thank you so much, and I'm really grateful for our friendship and the support that I'm gonna have going forward.
I feel
Thank you.
like for the creators, it was your brainchild, and now I'm happy to see you take it forward in the direction that you want to. Who knows whether it's around 5 years, 10 years from now, or it's evolved into something completely different. I
Yeah.
feel like every single thing happens for a reason. And this was a good thing to happen for a reason. Just based on the feedback that we've received from people like over the years, I'm sure that we've touched someone. I'm sure that we've gotten someone to look at things from a different perspective. I'm sure that we've encouraged people. I'm sure that we've given people the confidence just by shining our spotlight on them to take their dreams forward. I feel like we've done like really good work with this show, even if our audience is big or small. All you just need is to just touch one person. So even if we did that, we're already successful. But my life personally has been touched in so many ways. Like I said, guys, like this guy here is pure gold. If you ever get the chance to meet Ryan, you've met a good one. There's so many people out here that it's difficult to say that about, but it just gives me hope. And his wife is also amazing. His family is amazing. And yeah, wish you nothing but good luck, good fortune, success, everything that's good going forward. I'm just going to be down here topping up my tan.
That's it, man. Likewise, my sister. I already know you're doing amazing things out there. That's affecting people on a real level. So thank you so much.
Because even like the job that I'm doing it's like the position that my island's in. If you're not aware of Montserrat was devastated by volcanic eruptions. It's actually been 22 years. But what people fail to realize is the impact that not only has on the island physically, but also on the mentality of the people. Yeah. And what I've realized is that when you're in the Caribbean, natural disasters happen often. With the volcano, it's catastrophic because it's destroyed 3/4 of the island. It's actually sad when you go and you look at the parts of the island that are uninhabitable. So we're in this position now where we're trying to rebuild the whole island, and I think a lot of people compare it to, like, there's still that comparison thing where you're comparing it to other islands, but I actually feel like that's a little bit unfair because this is something that we're literally starting over from scratch. That's so I feel like me being here, and also if fellow Monstratians and other people around the world come back, we have the opportunity to build something brilliant and significant. Like one of the projects I'm working on is to rebuild a hospital. So little things like that, like
little things,
not little things, but things like that, I should say, is like those are the things that you want to walk away from life knowing that you contributed to. And like I said, that when you look at when you're in the UK and stuff like that, and you're focused on celebrity gossip and things like that, like just really like put things into context. Like these things are insignificant, man. Like worrying about Kim Kardashian and her kimono business and the controversy and what Kanye said in his last rant and all of that. Yeah. Those things are so trivial in the bigger scheme of things. There's so much that we can do as individuals to affect change, and we should all try to do that.
That's a great message. That's a great message, and people, like, if we have any Montserratians around the world, or anyone's just interested in, impacting that island, if you're resonating with Anir's message, I'm sure she's reachable on her socials or even locally. Find her in Montserrat.
But even if it's just your island, like a lot of us come from Caribbean islands or even Africa and places like that. Like, don't be so focused on the UK. Like, not being bad to the UK, it's helped all of us and that, but the only way that we're going to develop Africa, only way we're going to develop the Caribbean islands and things like that is if people like us who've been to the UK, we've attained the knowledge and things like that, is if we go back and do the little bit that we can to help the communities that raised us or raised our parents and things like that. That's the only way that we're going to move forward.
Very
and not
true.
always be indebted to England, because this whole idea of England being paid of gold is a myth. There's so much pros to living on a small island or living in Africa and things like that. We have to build up our nations and make them something. But I can see that that's going to happen in Africa soon. I see that happening in the Caribbean as well.
Yeah.
But we have to build each other up. And
Agreed.
It takes all
Agreed.
of us.
Definitely. And it takes these kind of conversations as well, you know, because it might just inspire someone to do that little thing. But that what may seem little to us can be super impactful over there, even if it's speaking to people and it's imparting knowledge, you know, each one teach one. That's where we're coming from. So for sure.
Literally, like every little skill that you think you have, or if you ever go back to Africa, if you ever go back to the Caribbean, and it ever crosses your mind, why don't they have this? It takes someone like you to put it there. Don't get caught in the trap of complaining. Get caught up in being a problem solver instead of just talking about the problems. Because only how something's going to get placed there is if someone has the balls to do it.
Exactly.
On that note, without going on and preaching, I think this has been a very, very motivational.
It has. It's been a great conversation. It's kind of a summary of the whole, you know, all of the episodes that we've done so far. You know, I think people will really take a lot from this. Let us know what you think, guys. Obviously, this is going to be the last episode for a while. I'll just let you know what happens as I schedule and plan and decide. But keep an eye on For the Creators Podcast on Instagram, and my personal at Journey of the Nile on Instagram. That's probably the best place. And I'll make announcements there going forward. Give me a shout. Vinay, do you want anyone to give you? Do you want to give your email out or anything like that for people that might want to get in touch about Montserrat?
My email is vinayabas@gmail.com if you want to reach out. It's Victor Echo Romeo November Alpha Indigo Romeo Echo Bravo Alpha Sierra @gmail.com. My name is a bit of a mad one, so listen back to that about 3 or 4 times. It's not as easy as saying
get your pencils and paper out and write that down.
So if you want to reach out to me about Montserrat, please do. But just in general, thank you very much for your ears.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to the episodes that we've done to date. Again, I wish Ryan all the success in the future with For the Creators. I'll stay watching and congratulating and clapping for you. Whatever you decide to do with the platform, I hope you don't give up on it. And I hope that you keep it going forward. Again, thank you very much for listening to me. I remember the first time I picked up the mic, I was like, oh my God, my voice.
It's been a ride, man. It's been a ride.
And then now it's like, we could just easily have a conversation and just go on forever. So, yeah, man, thank you for believing in us and giving us your ears all this time. And remember to follow Ryan on socials at For the Creators Podcast. And, find him on all major podcast platforms. And I'm about to go get some food.
Lovely. Thank you again, and thank you to you, V. It's just been an amazing rise. An amazing ride. Actually, it has been an amazing rise. I'm not even going to correct myself. It has been an amazing rise. Yeah. But yeah, thanks to everybody that's been listening so far. And, keep an ear out for the future. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.